And if our president does what he said he would do, then he will support America in its efforts. And the bottom line with America is it teaches people to be responsible for their own actions. And that is what all of our young human beings need out there. Not to blame anyone, not to blame the system, but to get up and stand up and contribute to their own development. And then we can, of course, help them.
You know that man, NFL legend, civil rights activist Jim Brown, on the show yesterday. He said, people are responsible for their own actions, and they need to stop blaming everybody else for their problems. Larry Elder joins us, Salem Radio nationally syndicated talk show host. Jim Brown was reading from your playbook, or you were reading from his playbook, but you agree entirely, don't you?
Well, that's exactly right. Also, I should point out that Muhammad Ali, according to his biographer, said that he was going to vote for Donald Trump. So you have Louis Farrakhan also saying that Donald Trump deserves to have an opportunity. Donald Trump has met with a number of people. Look, the bottom line is this. Martin Luther King III is probably aware of the fact that if you picked up a magic wand and waved it over the hearts of white America and removed every smidgen of racism from their hearts and from their minds, the major problems still remain. Most notably, the fact is that 70% or more of black kids are raised without fathers. There's a 50% inner city dropout rate. A third of young black men have criminal records. And the number one cause of preventable death for young whites is car accidents. The number one cause of preventable death for young black men is homicide. And these problems will remain no matter how much racism you remove from the hearts of America. And so Donald Trump is doing something that no Republican has done in my memory, and that's go down to the inner city, talk about the breakdown of families, talk about the fact that black parents want vouchers to be able to take their kids out of bad, underperforming public schools and to give them a shot at a better school. These are things that are going to help the community far more than yelling, "We shall overcome" in the year 2017.
But any outreach from Donald Trump to the black community is met with extreme resistance. Just watch this for a second, Larry. This is Martin Luther King III at Trump Tower yesterday. He came out and just listen to the questions that the media stuck at him. Watch this.
Were you offended by the president-elect's tweet that Representative Lewis is all talk and no action?
Isn't there something that just cuts to your core when you hear the president-elect refer to John Lewis as all talk and no action? I mean, nothing could be further from the truth. Isn't that right?
Now, we highlighted the questions there because they were clearly pejorative. They were leading questions. The reporters wanted MLK III to say, Trump's a racist. I find it astonishing that you get reporters, the media, charging like this against black folks. Go.
Well, why be surprised? We know the media are biased. We know the media believes that racism remains a major problem in America. Notice they didn't say, Mr. MLK III, under Obama, black poverty has increased. The so-called wealth gap between the average black family and the white family hasn't been this wide in 25 years. Don't you think Donald Trump has a plan to do something about that? Why wasn't that the line of questioning? Instead, the line of questioning was, isn't Donald Trump a bigot? Don't you feel Donald Trump's a bigot? And by the way, what are your thoughts about the bigotry of Donald Trump?
Well, I just want to know, when will Mr. Trump be more acceptable in the black community? Do you see that day coming?
Well, remember, Donald Trump already got a greater percentage of the black vote than John McCain did and Mitt Romney did. That's pretty impressive. I think once we start talking about 4% or so GDP growth and you find more and more black teenagers finding jobs and the labor force participation rate improving among black men, I think much of this is going to go away. And I predict that when Donald Trump runs for re-election in 2020, he'll get an even greater percentage of the black vote.
Fascinating. Larry Elder, thank you very much for joining us. We will see you again real soon. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.